Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever you're listening, the Go Get That podcast is back. Episode 135, previewing the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. It is a Pro-Am this year, right? No?
It is
Very much so.
It
not
is?
as ammy as it used to be, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I know one of the years there wasn't an AM, but I don't know. Monahan, you might not even know whether he might not even know who's playing this week since we don't have tee times yet, but we're back. Spieth is back. Less than a week until I see the man himself in person as well. Assuming he doesn't take Monday off. But we'll see. If he wins Pebble, he's earned it. If he wins Pebble, he's earned Monday off. Not sure how confident I am in that happening, but that's okay because we have a few warm-up tournaments to get the rust off. So,
oh boy,
excited, very excited. We get Spyglass shot tracking too, which is really nice. That's really cool. Spyglass is one of my favorite courses on tour to watch. So I'm really looking forward to that, and obviously Pebble. He doesn't get much better than that. So, um, fiddling with the high technology over there from the old
it's
man.
a new season and a new computer for me. So we've been having some camera intricacies, and I'm screwing with it as we podcast. But I thought
Yeah.
I'd add that for the viewers at home who can see me fiddling.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of, I'm just a very busy man right now. So it's been a little bit like, I haven't really been able to get into the hype of it yet. Like Thursday morning, it'll be there. But I haven't been able to get into like the pre-tournament hype that some of my followers have, and they've been. We have a lot of really excited listeners. Um,
Yeah,
really excited for the return of Spieth. And that's exciting because I'm excited, and I wish I could get more into the hype. But at the end of the day, he tees off on Thursday, and then we're full go. We got 3 weeks and a full PGA Tour schedule ahead with nothing stopping him because the wrist seems like it's doing really well. Swing looks. I know Dan
Beautiful.
said it looks. Dan really likes it. I think it's like we'll see.
Yeah, it looks the same.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, it's so. I said that, but there's a few videos. I think Titleist had one. Pebble Beach Pro Am posted one on Instagram that I know Jordan you reposted on your stories. Just kind of him walking around. He was there on a Monday, you know. And
He was
then
there on
arranged.
Sunday too. He
Oh,
was
really?
Yeah, he has. Jake Owen's got like a little charitable event that's typically the Sunday, maybe Saturday before. I know he
Gotcha.
was there last year, but yeah, he was there this year as well with I know Woodland was there, Ricky was
Yeah,
there.
Fowler. Yeah. So he's been on property. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously we can't take away any too much from these videos. It did look a little bit he's still working through the same stuff, but it looked there was one wedge swing where I thought the hands got up a little bit higher, a little bit quicker, which is nice. And that's my takeaway on that. I don't think we'll have anything other than um I'd imagine he'll be featured the majority of these days, although
I'm
the tee
just.
times are weird. So um
I'm really excited for committed iron swings.
It's funny you
you'd
bring
hope
that
so.
up because I didn't come into the podcast with like much to talk about via the swing, but it would be interesting if we could like get a slow motion breakdown of him making contact with the ground compared to contact with the ground from last year. That's kind of something I think once we get off this podcast, I might try and make a
Yeah.
little iMovie out of and see like from the couple of swings that we've seen so far this week how he's going into the ground compare how he
Yeah.
to how he did last year.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that was a big talking point last year. He would over and over talk about how um he worked so hard on his driver because it was the only real swing he felt comfortable going at without pain. So who knows? I mean, we've never seen, even at the peak of Jordan Spieth, good wedge play and good driving in the same season. So if he's striking the ball really well and can get off the tee like he did recently, could be in for a dangerous animal. But as I said, this is my theme of the podcast. Optimism must be earned. Optimism must be earned for myself. It was not a fun season last year, and obviously the injury was part of that, but that's golf. Hopefully we can get a presser out of Mr. Spieth next week. I'd like to pick his brain on a on a few things. But
I I
no.
doubt it, given that he's done his one for the year this week.
Got one.
Two,
He's getting
what,
this week.
215, yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
well,
You
it's
know,
he'll
if
do his
he
he'll do his Masters many moons ago, ceremonial
I mean
champion.
10 years worth of moons ago.
Yes.
That's
Wow.
crazy. That's a lot of moons.
I think if he plays well this week, Bob, there's a decent chance he'll talk next week. I think
I'd
I
agree.
think that's kind of where I
I
think.
mean, yeah, I mean, I think that when you have an injury like that, like you don't really want to talk about your game because it's not what you're like. So
Yeah,
it makes sense why I didn't. Not that it's an excuse. But yeah, I think there's just a lot unknown. Like it feels like a clean slate.
it
Like
is. I
like
mean, he
that
made a
like the we didn't really talk about the injury that much this time last year, even though it seems like it had been lingering without him really letting anyone know. And so we were just like, okay, so he sucks, and like there's no real path to like happiness. But he seems like he's pain free. At least that's the word from the camp that we know of. Um, but if he's pain free, clean slate, I mean, he said this isn't bothering him since what year?
18.
18.
I
So
mean,
essentially he
the timeline, the
it's
timeline
It
lines
crazy.
up
matches up. It matches
Yeah.
to
up.
to chill.
But
So
in 23, when he dropped out of ranch, um
that was
that was for the
a day I'll
wrist.
never forget.
Yeah. Well, yeah, first off, what a horrible day that was. But second off, that was the day the sheath first popped out of like its socket, basically. But part of what the surgery was to rebuild that, but they also went in and cleaned up the bone chip that existed since 2018. So essentially, they killed two birds with one stone, and that wrist is surgically clean, if that makes sense. Like there's nothing lingering there other than the wear and tear of surgery and the wear and tear of living and playing golf for 30 years. But the 18 is in the past, 23 is in the past, and in theory that should improve the mental state. I would say 3 months without swinging a club should make him want to play golf more. That's what it's doing to
Five
Oh,
me
months
now.
with no competitive golf.
Right. I mean, I tweeted it's like 160 days since he last played a competitive round. Um, that's a lot of moons.
It's a lot of
Many
moons.
moons.
it's a lot of moons. It's a
And
lot of
man,
moons.
we
And not only
well,
that, it's just like we stress this, but many people don't. It's a little bit weird because I don't know about you, Dan. I know I've talked to Jordan about this. I think he's Spieth over Ravens, but I don't know whether you have Michigan
Ooh,
ahead of
those are
Spieth.
fighting
But
words right
like,
there.
it's weird having at least one of your top fandoms, like your die hard fandoms, be a player because
yeah.
the clock is TikTok.
Yeah.
Um, he's getting older. He's really probably only got realistically around 10 years left of really competitive in, week out prime like years. Then it becomes okay. Let's become a Justin Rose or Adam Scott for the next 5 years. So like, yeah, like this is since he's last been someone who shivers timbers on the board. Um, it's been 7 years since he's since that timetable started with the injury. That's a lot of prime years gone.
A lot.
So
Heck
he
yeah.
has, and that's another discussion.
It's almost like he
Whether
should be asked why, if it started in
I,
2018, why nothing
many
of
many are hoping that
significance
that
was really
many are
done.
hoping that a reporter has the balls to ask that question next week. But regardless, that's that's happened. We're here now. He's a middle-aged man, and he's still got years left, but he's got some catch up to do. So you if you're thinking about it, if he really can't go another year, if he's gonna be the player that everyone thought he was gonna be, um, he can't really go another year without a win. Like he's got to be winning,
Yeah. I think
every year.
we can almost like officially say he is not going to be that player.
Well, I more meant like a top like generational
That's
player.
fair. Fair
Like he can still be Dustin Johnson, and that's a very good career.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you could even argue
that career doesn't happen with 12 wins.
no,
He's gonna need to
13
rack them up.
actually.
Yeah,
He's
well,
got 13.
you're right. Very true.
He did
Right.
something.
And then when
Um,
yeah.
but so
But
like that, like if he just keeps checking along for the next few years and like does what he did the last like I don't know about you guys, but the last 3 years are still a disappointment to me. I mean, 2 wins in 3 years isn't getting the job done.
No, it is not.
So like
but here's what I'll say to that though, is that when uh in theory healthy, I'll put quotes around the healthy for 21, 22, 23 before dropping out of ranch. He was still, I mean, I get the whole live stuff, but he was basically a top 12, 15 player in the world. Uh, was really in it at, I mean, 21 was a great year. Should have won more than once. 22 was only really in it twice, but
yeah,
he got
21
one
was
out of
really
the
only a
two.
bad year results wise.
Right.
It was a
And then
very good player.
23 probably should have won the Heritage, but that was about it. Right. I guess 23 had the Valspar. Like he probably should have won once then. So I think
He had a good
like
pre PGA.
yeah, like I'm
That
willing
point.
to give him. I think there's reason to believe that he will be a pretty good golfer again because I think he's healthy.
I
If you
mean,
believe that he's healthy,
at the end of the
is he?
day, you can say what you want about um like how the last 7 years have gone, but there's no doubt that you can't deny the fact that that injury had to have played a part. Like he was a prodigy growing up. He won 3 majors. Like there is a ridiculous amount of talent there. Um, and fully healthy, he could be. You never really thought of Jordan Spieth as like one of those guys, like like there are players in sports that are just injuries define their career, and you never think about Jordan Spieth as that. But like 7 years, if he goes on to have a really good next 2 or 3 years, you look back and you're like, well, those 7 years are pretty. That's a pretty big gap. Um, so you never know. He's got the tools. I hope that mentally the last 7 years haven't been too bad on him in terms of confidence. I'm hoping that the confidence issues were wrist related. I'm hoping that that's the case, but I don't know. I think the putting. I don't think the putting stroke looks good. Um, but I guess we'll just see how it goes. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Jordan and I were talking. We might be getting close to depression with the putter. We've been in
I
the
feel like
recession for almost 2 years.
I feel like we've been in
Well,
depression for a
well,
year.
we're gonna give it a tournament. And it's nice. It's nice there'll be strokes gained data at Spyglass. But what?
It is nice that we get two courses that he putts pretty well.
Yeah,
Right
typically.
off the bat.
But what was the Jordan? What was his
Actually, that's
rolling?
not true at all. He doesn't putt waste management at all. Well, actually, I totally forgot about that. He
What was his
actually
rolling average over the
Right
what?
last
now?
50? Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I sent Dan a photo. We were discussing when we discussed Spieth a lot, besides just the podcast, obviously, and like Spieth's putting um, really hasn't been good for 5 years, 6 years. Is there like a number you wanted out of me, Dan, or I can?
I think the part of the depression thing was like I think his rolling average for 50 rounds in data golf was below zero for the
Yeah,
first
no, he's
time
a
in since 2018, maybe,
um,
maybe ever. Like
sorry,
Uh,
doing this on the
it's
fly here, but
he's a below average putter on average is basically what they're saying in the past 50 rounds. If you think about it, if even if he makes all the cuts, that's 12 tournaments. Space it out with a few missed cuts. That's like 3/4 of a season that he's averaging being below average at putting.
yeah, that's reason
And
for pessimism because the wrist surgery in theory probably doesn't affect the putting at all. Um, I was talking with a follower this morning on my Instagram, and he's like, "What do you think of the putter? Reason for concern?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, because the wrist surgery should fix his approach numbers, which were terrible, probably due to the wrist, but the putting has been poor. 2021, the numbers would tell you he putted decently, and unsurprisingly, he played pretty well in 21. But besides that, 24 was bad, 23 wasn't very good, 22 was bad, 2020 was bad. Like he hasn't been a really good, consistent putters. I mean, since really 2014 through 17. Um, so that is, I think, the biggest issue. I think most of us here are pretty optimistic that his ball striking will be good. I mean, I think Bob said it in our podcast that we did a month ago. It's probably reasonable to expect his off the tee game to get a little bit, I mean, some regression to the mean just because he drove it so well last year.
I just think
Um,
it wasn't really sustainable numbers.
yeah, no,
Like
it
the way he was
was,
driving the ball, like he can recess in that category and be completely okay.
yeah, there should be some
But
recession there and some, big tick up in the approach numbers, but the putting isn't really affected by the operation that he got done. So that's, I think, the biggest area of concern as we enter 2025. But who knows? Maybe I mean, putting is obviously a lot of mental, and he's had, 5 months off from competitive golf. And the optimist in me is hoping he can come out and stroke it really well this week after being off for 5 months and see where that takes us.
well, the um, from my point of view, you'd hope. I mean, I'd hope that having a wrist injury, not being able to swing the club, I'd hope that he was rolling the rock a little bit earlier than
Yeah,
maybe hitting 6 irons. Was he doing that? Not sure.
he said he
Um,
was. He
yeah,
said
he
he
I
definitely
was.
he had to have
but
been.
that's nice
Probably
because
chipping a little bit too.
it has been shown that over his career, when he works on something um more than other stuff, it usually works out well. So I'd hope to see that happen with the putter because you just the tournaments on tour are just they're just too easy. Like you just have to make putts if you're going to beat Scotty Scheffler. Um, like you can't really get away with it and win. Like you have to. I don't even. He doesn't even need to make putts and in timely at the right times. And that's something he never has done in recent memory.
Yeah. And
So that's what's got to happen. He's got to make putts when he's in contention. He's got to capitalize on opportunities, and he hasn't done that very well.
He's got to get
Um,
into contention.
well, hopefully that speaks for itself.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I guess you're right. Maybe
probably
it does. Maybe that has to
inside
be
of
earned as well.
yeah, inside of 10 feet too, I think has got to be I mean, it's always been sort of a weak point in his game. I think the putting inside of 5 feet, putting inside of 10 feet, but those are the shots where they just feel like heartbreakers, kind of, round breakers. Momentum kind of halts when you miss one of those for whatever it is, whether it's birdie, par, the dreaded
Hate
8-footer for
Yeah.
bogey, which he always seems to pour in. But the whole point is like those just have to go on a more consistent basis. I'm sure he knows that. I think the 4 months of kind of a mental reset is also hopefully a mechanical reset. I mean, who knows what the putting mechanics, how much that really impacted everything, but
Yeah.
I would like to think that those things could get cleaned up in September, October, early November before he
One would
started
certainly hope.
the 6 iron. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'd love to just talk like golf in general, like seasons. We haven't really done an episode on like the season. Um, like what are your do we think Spieth ever appears in the TGL? I've gotten this a lot. I don't think so, but maybe if Tiger's like, listen, the product's dying, we need you to like hop in, that maybe, but
I guess the answer I'd give, and the viewers probably won't like it, is I hope not. Um,
I'd
I
agree.
kind of, I did a post yesterday on my story. He's currently, per data golf, the 115th best player in the world. It's like we got bigger fish to fry than playing some simulator golf.
I'm
It'd be
a
nice to actually play the golf that matters well before even looking at that avenue.
I'm just really not a big fan.
No,
I
I
don't
would have
I
no
don't
interest in like tracking it or any of
I
that.
don't think it's entertaining. I know that the group chat we're in, like they sort of like it. Not for me. It just doesn't get my like, it's not even comparable to really anything else in sports. Um,
I mean, it's an exhibition like Live, so you got that.
yeah.
If Spieth played, would you watch?
Yeah, but
I think that's my answer too. But I don't want him to play because I don't want to
yeah,
watch.
that's
I think it's
that's that's
fine.
the well worded
What do we
way.
get from him winning a TGL event?
It's not even, yeah. I think I'm just addicted to like his appearances. Like I think I
Yeah.
would watch him on like
Yeah, like I'm just like unfortunately very addicted to watching him swing golf
yeah,
clubs. So.
or just do anything really. Like I mean I don't know.
I mean,
It
if you
probably
won a golf tournament this year, you'd have my good graces to join the TGL. But like,
because I guess there's only a few things we've ever seen him do. Like he either talks and it's fun to hear what he has to say, or he plays golf. Um,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
no
I,
no offense to like the Fowler camp, but the Fowler camp shouldn't be playing in TGL. He should be worried on actually playing professional golf. Like, I
well, the
get it from
foul,
Kisner's point of view because Kisner's he's semi-retired now.
yeah,
Sorry, Bob, but like, isn't Fowler trying to like build his game up to be playing
yeah,
really
but
good golf
Fowler needs a
again?
little bit of cash,
I'll
a
just
little
say
side
this. I'll
cash.
just say this. Kevin Kisner's got one more year left in the tank if the tour championship goes to match play. I'll just say that. Don't let him get in the field. Do not let him get in the field. Don't let him pick off FedEx Cup points because it's going to cost you money in
Yeah,
August.
his T57s won't add up to a whole
He's
lot.
missed 5 of his last 6 cuts.
He just needs he just needs to get into the first round and have a big
No,
tournament.
I hear you. I hear you. But like, if I'm home, like Homa didn't play in TGL last night, and like part of me wonders if that's just a contractual thing or is it, he's focused on getting his game into gear because it's been really bad. as a it just seems like a distraction. And I know he's a Dallas guy. They're tape like it's crazy. They're playing
They play
TGL
in.
last night in Florida, and the guys that are playing this week at Pebble Beach had to fly on a jet last night to get to Pebble
Yeah, that's a little
late
wild.
last night or early in the morning. So
Where do they play? LA or Florida?
Florida, that's a long flight. That's a cross country
Okay.
flight. They're at the
Yeah.
SoFi Center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
maybe
all
It's
those guys, I'm sure. I mean, they're all flying private, so like,
yeah, but I mean that's you typically are there on Monday of a tournament week, are you not?
I hope Tom
yeah,
Kim is not
but I'm
flying
sure they
private.
were.
Tom Kim does not deserve to fly private.
You sure?
Oh
What do you
yeah.
mean? You sure they were, Bob?
Sorry, I thought the match was Sunday for some reason.
No, it's last night.
Yeah.
Like Rory had a presser this morning, and he's probably jet lagged from the frickin' flight.
Rory.
I mean,
Yeah.
I see like some cappers on Twitter that are like, I'm just gonna fade a couple of these TGL guys just because it's all the flights and coming cross country.
I believe
Like I think
Mr. I believe Mr.
It
Schlaber
was
said that as well. Are you considering Mr. Schlaber a respected
it was
golf
a I mean it was a
analyst?
close match too. How much competitive juice does one have for the whole week?
it'll
You
be
got to give
interesting
it
to see
all
how the
for
TGL
If
guys play
you're
this week.
burning competitive juices in TGL, big issues.
When you're playing for your city, man, Rory's representing the Boston Common, and
Yeah.
like there's
That's my team, bro.
exactly. Speaking of you, Dan, we haven't shouted out the flag behind you yet for our YouTube visitors. He's
Oh
repping
yes.
the sponsor this week, AT&T in the background.
AT&T.
Oh, I was gonna congratulate him on the national championship win.
You got
Mm.
that as well.
Nice.
I just don't think that you can win the national championship and lose to Michigan. I don't think it makes sense. I think
Yeah.
you should crown the blue back to back.
Yeah. I mean it's a valid take. I know you're
I think
one
it's
of the
very fair.
respected sports media
Yeah,
voices.
exactly. So
Um, so I
Fully within
appreciate it.
reason.
I mean, we beat the champs, and we were the champs. So I think it adds up. But yeah, AT&T, of course, that's why I'm blocking the M. I just got to get the AT&T on screen. So I'll
It's
slide
a
a little
company,
bit
man.
there.
Yeah. AT&T's
Um,
got to send you like some royalties or something. I
yeah,
mean, this is free advertising.
they do good things, maybe.
yeah,
I
ATT
don't know.
needs to work on its coverage in Tempe, Arizona.
If
So
AT&T hears that, I mean, I'm hoping they get to work on that immediately.
I would agree.
I,
Frankly, I
uh,
switched to T-Mobile.
Ooh, that might be a bad
That's
omen
tough
for
for
this week.
AT&T. It's a tough one right there. But
I do want
there's
to
a
get
reason.
sorry, go ahead then.
I was just gonna say there's a reason it's the AT&T Pebble Beach and not the T-Mobile Pebble Beach.
Or
Let's
there's
just
no
remember.
AT
And there's no
there's there's no
Verizon
AT&T Tempe
Classic.
tournament.
It's
This
very
is
fair.
AT&T runs this industry, man. You know,
Yeah.
like
They
they
really
show
do.
a little bit of respect. Instead of servicing Tempe, they're putting on a golf tournament. So,
Well said.
you know,
It is fair for them.
it is something that's might
I
be
would like
tough,
to
but it's very fair.
yeah. I would like to get back into Spieth real quick because I think it's important to mention. I know Bob was like the optimism has to be earned. I don't disagree with that at all. Spieth's been swinging a golf club for about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I think that can't
Oh
be
yeah.
understated in like what you should expect this week as a fan out of him. It's not like he's playing his first professional tournament, but he's been swinging the club for 8 weeks now, and he was putting and chipping before that. So it's not like it's a guy that hasn't played any golf.
The question
And
Well,
is, sorry.
we know that he likes to use Hawaii usually as warm-up events, and I don't respect it. But I do think that like tournament competitive rust is okay. Um, like struggling to score first tournament back in 5 months wouldn't be the worst thing in the world as long as it's not like because you literally can't make a 2-footer. Like if you're sloppy scoring, um, but still like there shouldn't be any technical rust. That should be done. He's
no, I think it's going to be done.
swinging for a while. Um,
I have a
and
take
that's
as
why
well.
And that's why I don't really care what place he finishes this week, but I'd like to be happy with the way in the matter he does it. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I have a take. Um,
yes.
I think the injury forced him to work more over his off season than ever before. And I can't, maybe he'll get asked about it tomorrow, but my hunch is, and I don't know this for a fact, but those Hawaii tune-up events in the past, I think were used because he just didn't play as much in the off season because for whatever reason he was taking vacations being a dad. My gut tells me he worked his rear off because he hadn't swung a club in so long after the surgery that he was working with Cam at T Forest or wherever he's working on a near daily basis because he had to reteach himself how to swing a golf club after not swinging for
It,
months. So my take is he worked his rear end this offseason and he's going to come to play this week.
That would
And
be
that's
lovely.
the hope.
yeah, I that's where I am. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of technical issues. I really don't. But we'll see.
I
We
don't
shall
either.
see.
I'm yeah, I don't either. I think that I wouldn't I just don't want it to be feeble. I'm really not too worried about it being um like I'm not too worried about like him hitting like bad golf shots like that hybrid that players that we go back to all the time. That is one of the worst golf shots a professionals ever hit. But like I'm not too worried about those things. I'm more worried about um if he's sloppy scoring because he chips to 8 feet instead of 5 feet, whatever.
So be
But
it. Yeah.
we can't be making feeble mistakes where we leave it 20 feet short on chips and make stupid mental errors. That's where I'd be a little disappointed. But I think he has my take is similar, not only similar to Jordan's, but it's that I think he's got a new wind of
Yeah.
like passion to get back into the winning ways because you're not gifted like he is without being extremely competitive. And I think he's sort of lost a little bit of love for the game being injured to an extent. And I think that he's now that he's healthy, he's itching to get back to that high level that he knows he can play at. And I'm excited to watch that journey over the next year or two because I think the next year or two are gonna define how the rest of his career is gonna look.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it's
It's a
not a
fair
light
take.
statement. Like that's a like it's a big deal. Like we've dedicated um for most of us like 8 years now to this guy. Like we've been watching this guy for like 8 years, week in,
Thanks.
week out. And the next 20 could be the next slash last 20 could be defined by the next 18 months. And that's a big deal. So I think the time is now. Um, I'd like to see a win before the U.S. Open. Thank you.
Before June. Okay.
So
Okay.
bold.
For the end
Such
of
a
June. For the end of
such a
June.
bold finish to
He
his take,
plays a
man.
lot of
Awesome.
courses he likes. I'll give him this 3 week stretch to get back into it competitively, and there's no reason you shouldn't be in deep contention at Bay Hill or Valspar or
Yeah.
Ranch, or it would be nice to get a fourth major at Ranch. That would be
That would be
fantastic.
yeah, that'd be a great way to welcome him back.
Yeah.
I think Jordan, you brought up the whole like technical side. And I'm a believer in McCormick, but the question has to be if he's been swinging the club for 8 weeks, has he been swinging it correctly? Right? Like
I
I
mean,
think
you would
there's
know if it wasn't correct if it's going all over the place.
well, that's very true, but I think sometimes swings can also cap the peak. Like I'm sure, I mean, tomorrow's gonna be fascinating to hear him talk again. How many shots he's got in the bag, how many tools, how many different this, if the swing feels like wet concrete or if it's hard,
DNA,
or
DNA,
if it's
DNA,
like DNA. Yeah, I got to get
DNA.
back to my DNA, yada yada, turn it through the ball, the whole chicken wing thing. Like I mean, we'll see. We'll see. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm excited. We still don't have tee times yet, do we? But
No, it's 8:20 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday night, and we still do not have tea
and at
times.
some point on Thursday, probably early afternoon, ball will be in the air and it'll count. It'll mean something.
I'd really enjoy early late for my own personal.
I think it's kind of just going to be middle because I think they've got 40 players going off Spyglass and 40 going off Pebble.
That's
I
pretty
guess it's 40. I
devastating
guess
for
it's
me.
40 groups though. That's not too.
I don't think they're
Or
split
no,
teeing it though.
20 groups. What's
I
up?
don't think they're split teeing it.
Yeah,
No,
but
I wouldn't think so.
it's still only 20 groups every 10
Well, there's a
minutes.
group every 10, 11 minutes.
And a player like Spieth will only get like the middle like 12. Like the first
Right.
four and last four won't be like a big name, I don't think.
That's true. Well, it'd be nice if we could
But
get it
who
at some
knows?
point
Maybe
during this
Spieth isn't given
podcast.
hasn't given
Oh, come on. He'll be on
Here's
ESPN
a-
Plus one day for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It's like the
No,
second biggest storyline of the week, I think, is this
Yeah.
Scheffler is probably first, but then for the golf sickos and for the people who have been watching for more than a year, it's the return of Spieth.
yeah. I call me biased. I think Spieth's the biggest storyline of the week. He's the
He should
biggest
be, but
draw on the field, not named Rory. Sorry, Scotty,
It's
but
certainly not
I don't,
Justin Thomas.
it's not
I
Justin
don't,
Thomas.
yeah, I don't disagree, but I think the present day media will talk about Scheffler a lot, and fair enough.
No,
Number one,
yeah.
he's coming off a cut hand. Um, the only holes there's been a few videos out, and Shane Lowry said he saw him play a little bit. And so Scheffler, from what I've seen on Twitter, is 7 under through 7 this week. So that's a great start.
To the best of our knowledge, Scheffler has not made a par.
Has not made a par all week.
We have no concrete evidence that Scheffler has made a par or worse yet in his trip.
Yeah.
In California. So that's nice.
Scheffler made a par in the last year.
Not sure.
Not many.
Not
Not
many.
many.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I wasn't such a Spieth homer because like Scotty is like mesmerizing to watch. Like I wish I could just sit down and appreciate it for a day. Like
But you're
it's the
too
ball
high on Spieth.
unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I mean, he
It's
does
jealousy.
shots.
Like I just don't like someone else being the gold standard. Like there was a time where Jordan Spieth was the gold standard, and maybe in a year or two he'll be back there. But can you imagine? That would be insane.
That'd be
Yeah.
crazy. I think
I think
maybe
when
he
you
sets the tone this week.
sets the tone. He
Sets
could.
the tone
I laugh, but
this
I
week.
put my expectations out there.
Why not a thrust right out of the gate?
I think it's possible. I know Bob noted that Spieth has maybe lost his love for golf a little bit. I don't think there's a better way of regaining it than beating up on his fellow Texan. I mean, Spieth had to have gotten tired of losing by 20 shots to Scheffler on a weekly basis. Like that's gotta eat at him a lot. I mean, Scotty's beaten a lot, like everyone, but like,
Yeah.
Scotty's a Texan, Spieth's a Texan, Spieth's got all the records, and Scotty's on the verge of boat racing. Spieth, he could do it this year. I mean, we could be sitting here in 7, 8 months and saying Scotty's had a better career than Spieth. Like
Well,
that's
what
not
does
out
it
of
take?
not
One
a whole
major?
lot. I think he's got 2 players.
I think it's
Our
one
friends
major.
our friends over at Data Golf have this new DG points system,
Yeah, that's
and you
sick.
can compare players. And Spieth is obviously ahead of Scheffler right now, but I mean, Scheffler can easily make up the distance. I mean, Spieth's 100 points up,
Yeah, so it's one major.
615 to
Or
515.
no. Never mind. Not one major.
A major's only 28 points.
Okay.
But I mean,
Those are
if you
2
compare
majors.
the amount of starts made,
What's one win?
it depends on the type of event. The major's 28 points, and then everything else is by strength of field. But I mean,
Sick.
just for kicks, Spieth Scheffler had 173 points last year.
Yeah.
Spieth had 14. So
I feel like that's
Scheffler
even more than I feel like. Like, where do those 14 points come from?
Like
think a
8 came
peak
from the Century or something.
5.59 came from Century, 2.61 from Phoenix. So that's half of his points. Spieth was a goose egg at one, two, three, four, five, six, 10 events last year.
The dreaded goose egg.
Yeah, I mean, he had some where 0.18 at the Heritage, 0.24 at Pebble. So Scotty could easily pass Spieth this year. I mean, it would take another year where Spieth does absolutely nothing and Scotty goes berserk, but I mean, that's fully possible. Another thing I just wanted to bring up, I know we'll get to it in a couple of weeks, obviously, but Tori now hosting the Genesis. I know everyone's pissed off, but I'm actually kind of excited to see Spieth play a course of that difficulty because I think that'll be a really good tell of where he's at. I mean, I know Bob said he wouldn't be mad if he doesn't see scoring this week, but like if he shoots like 5 under over 4 days, like that would kind of suck. It'll be cool in a couple of weeks once we get there to really see him play a tough golf course, a place he hates, and really just see, where is that game? Like, can he make pars on tough golf holes? I mean, Story played brutally hard last week
Yeah.
at the Farmers.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think Phoenix will be fine. Like Phoenix
Yeah,
is that like that's a good test of golf. Like it's like
yeah,
in
I agree.
the winner's usually like 15 to 16 to 17. It's not like 22, but
It's not tricked up at all. Yeah, I agree.
no, yeah, it's you got to miss in the right places at Scottsdale for sure. But Torrey could
I'm
be un
excited. I'm excited.
I'll say
I
this. I would have much rather them go to La Quinta, I think.
Yeah, I
I
hear
know
you.
I know I like say that I would rather them play tough golf courses than just shootouts, but my God, what a horrible golf course tour is. Like
I
just
know. I know.
nothing gets me out of bed for that tournament. Like I just because I know Spieth's already out of it. And I just like it's like just waste my time. It's 20 hours out of my week. I don't or maybe 10 hours sometimes, but um
I know. But there ain't going to be no false sense of confidence when he goes to tour. He's going to know he's either close and kind of has it, or he shoots 8 over and he doesn't have it, and he's
yeah,
not
I mean it
close.
certainly will tell the tale, which is nice because I feel like that's needed.
I
But
think
yeah.
the thing when we get there too is if he shoots a million, hopefully the response from his is I'm really don't have it yet, and not I hate this golf course. Because I could easily see him shoot a million there and go the route and say I just don't play well here when he should be going the route of I'm not there yet. So, but we'll get there when we
I
cross
don't really
that
know
bridge.
like how much more I have, but the I don't have my picks this week, but I feel like we should do them. Did we set that we should do them on the pod on pod
I think we
weeks?
did, but I mean we're still early in it for all our
Yeah,
viewers.
I think that should be a rule. I know I've already messed up the time zones once or twice, which is incredible because I that
And
usually affects
Pat
me.
Fishberg and Jaeger did not help out the cause last week.
We we have a hole to climb out of.
Yeah, so for our viewers, we're doing the same triple double this year. The
How much
damn
money do we put on it? 50?
$50 each, and Elise is in this year, and we are
I feel
four
like we should
tournaments in.
I think we should have put 100 since it's like a season long thing, but
Yeah,
oh
I
well.
would. We could always. I mean, if you're in last, if everyone else agrees to that, I
I'd
don't
be
see why we
down. I
can't.
feel like it entices everyone. I feel
Yeah,
like
so it's
$300.
50, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm up for that. But so same thing this year for our viewers, and believe it or not, we're 3 weeks, 4 weeks in, and two of us have already picked outrights this year. Dan had Nick Taylor at the Sony. We've done it for every event so far this year. This is just the first one with the podcast. Dan picked the winner at the Sony with Nick Taylor, and I picked Sepp Straka at the Amex. So we're on fire. So maybe we are tailable this year. It's funny because last year, Bob, I think, what did Dan tell me? We had one outright the whole year, I think, and we have two in 4 weeks. It's freaking insane.
Yeah, that is
Um,
insane.
but yeah, I can get into our picks for this week. If you want, I know again, Elise is doing it with us, and just a standings update. Dan's in first place with 3.4 million. I'm in second with 2.4 million. Elise is at just over 2 million, and Bob is the caboose at about 700K. But yeah, get into this week at Pebble. No Spieth for me. I'm optimistic, but signature event, got to go with the known quantities, and Spieth could very well shoot not a million, but he might not play well. But I'm going with the chalk this week, sorta. I'm going with Cantlay. I think he's the top of Elisa's card this week. I didn't go to her card to figure that. I mean, he plays well at Pebble. It's kind of as simple as that. He's in good form. So I went Cantlay, who plays great at Pebble. I went Jason Day, who's another Pebble specialist. Um, Obviously didn't have a pod last week, but debated going with him at Farmers, and thankfully I didn't because he couldn't make a single putt to save his life. But history at Pebble is insane. And then I went Morikawa. So a bunch of chalk for a signature event, but
Yeah.
uh, that's what I kind of like this week.
Some solid plays. Um,
Thanks.
I also went, well, I guess it's not all chalk. Bo Hostler wouldn't be considered chalk by any means, but
My man.
he's been playing pretty well. Loves Pebble. I think it's 3 straight top 14s here. Don't care that it's, a bigger event. I think he just plays well here. It's his type of course. I think the comp courses for this are Summerlin and I think it's Ranch actually. So two kind of TPC courses. Hostler has decent history around those. He's putted well here, which I think is going to be a big deal this week because wind's not really going to blow. Weather looks great. It's going to be really good scoring conditions. It will probably play a little bit firmer and faster. But I'm gonna have to make putts this week. Hostler makes putts sometimes. So I feel pretty decent about him this week. And then I went Cantlay and Burns, both of who are capable of filling it up. Burns especially. He's actually played pretty well here before in decent form. Cantlay didn't hit his irons particularly well at the Amex, but I imagine he'll sharpen that up. He's been a really good player at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and then also fits really well at Summerlin as well. So I kind of
That's
like looking at
I
those
just
those
saw that
comp
all you
courses.
guys. I just saw that all you guys have Cantley. That was one of the ones I was really looking at.
I
I
was
haven't.
gonna add because we obviously haven't done a pod in a while, but so for the viewers, we all went with JT at Century, and he didn't play that great. It seems like it's a very big possibility we all have Cantlay this week,
Yeah.
especially with
Yeah,
Bob saying that, and I know Elise likes
I'm,
him.
I'm definitely gonna take him. We'll have official picks next week. I'll probably end up going with I wanted to go Morikawa, but that's now two that I feel like I need to make up ground, and you're not making up ground when you're um picking the same people. Wow, I'm really in a big hole. We're
Well,
in.
yeah, but we have a million signature events to go. You're
Yeah.
We
you're
do.
perfectly fine.
We
Been off
do. I
to a
think I was
decent
gonna
start
go
though.
with Big Bo. Oh, you also have Big Bo, Dan. Yeah. Just I mean, great minds think alike at the end of the day. So, great minds think alike. But yeah, I think I'll probably no, I'm sticking with Bo. Bo is one of my ones I like. So I'll stick with those. I'll have my third official pick in by 4 p.m. MST. So not
It's
the
all
six.
good. It's funny because Elise is big on the rules, and she wasn't able to make it tonight. So Bob's kind of getting a get out of jail free card. She would have been hammering you for not having your picks in.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even I I'm very out of the loop. I didn't even know that was a rule, but I did think that that should be a rule. I feel like we should have picks for podcasts. But I will be
Yeah.
better.
Well, there's your get out of jail free card. Did you guys go over the standings very briefly?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I proposed we do since it's such a long competition, we do 100 instead of 50. Since I'm in last, I don't really care, but
Hmm.
I'm
Interesting.
cool
I
with
feel like
it. I mean, Dan's in first, so he's playing with
I think
lots of money at
300
the moment.
I mean,
I
yeah,
mean, it makes you really have to like lock in.
I'll take it. I mean, if Elise, we got to make
At
sure
least one.
Elise is
At least
cool
one.
with it.
Yeah,
I think
we'll make
Elise is probably encouraged the increase.
Yeah, she wants. I mean, Elise is what? She's 1.4 back and hasn't won a tournament yet. So it's kind of like,
Yep.
It's
at
so
some
early.
point,
I mean, this is a big week because we got
huge
signature
week.
event this week.
Huge week. It'd be great to see Sam Burns take home the trophy, and I can start to leave you guys in the dust a little bit here. But
4 million to the winner this week, right?
ooh,
I mean, I think it
4
is. I
million to
might
the
be
winner,
wrong.
triple double.
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
That's what I thought. The
Stupid money. Literally insane.
signature.
Yeah. Because last year they were like 3.6.
It might be 3.6. I mean, I just know it's definitely north of 3 million.
Yeah. No, it's huge. Huge.
15 minutes later, 8:35 Eastern, still no tee times. I mean, this is incredible from the tour.
Yeah.
We're trying to break it live on the podcast. I mean, granted, when you
Yeah.
guys are going to be listening to this, you'll already know, but it's like we're just sitting here in the dark.
I appreciate not having, or at least the past like what, almost 6 months, not having to have waited for the tea times to come out.
This
It's
is
one of the
brutal.
it's one of the great endeavors of a Tuesday in early from January to August. Which actually, by the way, because we just haven't talked, I appreciate that the PGA Tour schedule is January to August, like the proper schedule, and then you get the like, oh, you almost made it. Here, you can try and fight for your card in the fall.
Don't look
Like
now.
this
That could
is
be us. It could be-
well, come on, he'll be fine. The sponsors exemptions are doing him wonders, by the
Yeah,
way.
but he's this is the last year of his card, I think. I'm 99% sure I read that yesterday.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I got it right here. He is sponsor exemption this week as he plays his final year of a tournament winner's exemption.
Oh, for that might be for Pebble though.
I don't think so. I can go on the
Maybe
tour
not.
website, but I think
Maybe not
it's
20 because
No, he's not
2022.
exempt in the Pebble. So I need a sponsor's exemption.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it is because it's 3 years since you win. So
yeah, he might be
he
screwed.
he had his
If that
card
isn't motivation, I don't know what
23,
is.
24, 25. That is
Let me
crazy.
just say this: if
Bob, you should.
if he can't muster up the points to keep his card,
Well, it's top 70. Keep it right or top 125, but top 70.
Exempt status, tournament winner through 2025. Yeah, he's
Bob, you should ask him in Phoenix. Are you worried
Has he
about
thought
keeping your
about
card?
losing his card?
That would be an all-time question. Jordan Spieth, three-time major
Oh
champ
my God.
at the age of 31. Are you worried that if you don't qualify, you're going to lose your card this year? Is that on your mind? I wonder if he knows.
Yeah, I wonder if he knows.
he does. He does. I will be leaving to go get that podcast.
Yeah, the
if he-
podcast is over if he loses his card.
I will
We're
be
not following the Corn Ferry.
no.
I can't. No.
This is like not quite Tottenham, but it'd be like if
He might be playing Monday qualifiers next year.
It'd be like
That
if United.
it'd be like if United got relegated,
Yeah.
it'd be kind of the same
Is
thing.
it out of the equation yet?
Oh, come on. We just got a left back today, so we'll be fine. We also keep picking up players from your youth academy there, Bob. So I would be
Well,
worried about what Arteta is telling the young lads over at Arsenal.
Well, it's okay. Arteta will be arrested for terrorism eventually. Just waiting for the day. Yeah, for some reason he's got away with like off the like field stuff. Like, he's very good at that. Like he puts together good squads, but he can't manage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His name's
but
also Miguel.
that's right. True.
Just sounds like Miguel, just Michael. Greller back in business this week.
Great.
Yeah,
connection.
after a part-time gig on the Homa bag in Hawaii.
He won't be rusty.
From feeble to feeble.
Yeah, what's up with Homa, man? Like, why? He was there at the Masters and then he put one in a bush on 12. Or did he drink it? Did he rinse it? Which one was it? I think it was the bush
It was the Bush Long where I was in
because he
the
hit it too deep.
yeah.
Um, and then he just was never the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with Homa that's interesting, and I don't want to be like that type of dude, like he wasn't very good for a long time. Like
Like
maybe
he's
he
not
got
young.
hot and
He's
yeah,
not
he's
young.
34.
He's just
I'm
a
not
fan
I'm,
favorite that had a good
yeah.
stretch for a year and a half.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
okay.
crapping on him, but like people forget that the
Yeah,
dude took forever
I
to get
think
his card in the first place.
he'll be back. Not to maybe not to that level, but I mean, who knows? Like it's a hard game.
You ain't
Um,
kidding.
if guys like as talented as Spieth can go through the lulls, then Holmes can go through the lulls.
Yeah,
Is Homa exempt through this year?
I've been
Next
seeing
year?
Fran and we talk about how like, oh yeah, like I'll come on the pod and I've just never somehow it's just never happened yet. It will eventually, but what a perfect segue that would be talking about grinding the tour life when Spieth is on path to lose his card. So
Yeah, there you
Homa's
go.
exempt through 28, so he's got a while to go.
Yeah. Why is that?
Says tournament winner. He I
Oh, he
don't
must have
know.
won
Safeway.
He
yeah, but
won
it
the
Won
wasn't 20.
Farmers in 23.
won the
Yeah.
Napa one in the fall. Remember he beat Willett?
Yeah. But was that 20 fall 22?
No, it wasn't
Just
that like
why is he up through
Sep-
28? Isn't it
I feel like
3
that was
years for a
I feel
win?
like that was 8 months ago, no?
Maybe they
No.
changed the rule. And Spieth is getting bent by it, to put it bluntly. That's a good question. I'm just looking at the website
It's
and it
deserved.
says
It's deserved for
Yeah,
Spieth.
I was gonna say if that's Spieth getting bent, it's tough but very fair.
maybe it's because
Very.
he
Um,
won like a signature event,
like that's kind of
right?
what I'm thinking, but it wasn't. But what did
He
he
won the
win?
Wells Fargo in 22. Maybe it was at a signature event that they go 6 years. I don't know.
He won the Genesis. Did he? He won at Riv.
Yeah, but I mean, he won the Wells Fargo too, which is a big boy event in 20.
Okay.
So maybe signature event 6 years. I don't know.
But it
They should
wasn't a
specify
signature.
it
It
better.
wasn't a signature then, though. I don't think
It
Maybe they're
wasn't.
I
giving
wonder. It wasn't.
extra status for winning at Quail Hollow because it's Justin Thomas's playground and they have to help
Yeah,
out their boy.
Justin Thomas. I almost picked him this week. He is playing some really good golf, actually. Um,
I think when you were
so
gone, I mentioned that the entire podcast picked him at Century, and that
Century,
didn't go very
yeah.
well for any of us.
No, but he played really well at the Amex. He's been playing well recently. He hasn't won in a while. I just don't think I was gonna pick him, but I didn't want to burn my two Thomas plays this early because I think Sawgrass is a solid spot for him if he's still playing well. Obviously, he's won there. Um, but also like you got to make a lot of putts this week, and JT just doesn't make that many putts. So,
I
um,
find it funny after just a couple minutes of research here that we saw the photo of Spieth, Ricky, and Woodland all at Jake Owen's charity thing on Sunday, and all three of them are in jeopardy of losing their cards this year. They're all
Woodland
exempt through
doesn't get a
2025.
special exemption for literally being like in the
I mean,
hospital.
I guess he could. He's currently on his U.S. Open exemption. So that when did he win his U.S. Open?
19.
Yeah, so that's 6 years
That would be
apparently.
quite harsh if they're like, yeah, we don't really care that you had your brain operated on. We're kicking you.
Yeah.
That would be
A fair
harsh.
point.
I'd
I
argue
don't
that
know.
would be not very fair at all.
No, that doesn't seem right.
But
How is Fowler exempt? Oh yeah, he won the Rocket.
Tournament winner.
23. He should be eligible till 26 then, no?
No, it only says through 2025.
Hmm, fascinating. Fowler fighting for his card, but he's been there before recently, you know? So
Hypothetically, what's Scheffler exempt through? Just for fun.
gotta be
2029. The players
Yeah,
exemption.
that's not as like
That's
long as
odd.
I thought. I
So
thought Scheffler would isn't is it 20 wins that gets you exempt for lifetime?
Is it 20?
I think
yeah,
so.
yeah. So the
I was it was
longest,
it's
if
like either
signature
20 or
event is
50.
6 years, then the longest exempt non-lifetime is Harris English. Or no, Farmers wasn't a signature, was it?
No. The longest who won Century. Man, what a start. We don't even know who won the first event of
Our
the
man
year.
wasn't in the field.
I don't know.
Hideki.
Well,
It was Hideki. Yeah, Hideki
we never had an
also
outright.
playing very good golf right now. But yeah, Hideki's exempt for a while. So
I gotta
Hideki's
pull
sick.
him up, see what PGA Tour's got Hideki at.
Dude, Hideki is like pretty damn good at golf. Like
Yeah.
year in, year out, he just wins.
Hideki's through 2030.
Yeah. So there's the 5-year exemption for the Century.
Although they list his exempt status as winner Masters tournament through 2030. So I don't know what the PGA Tour's got going on their website.
Oh, maybe
but
that's why Spieth is. I don't know. I wonder if they're just saying like, well, I don't know. Maybe the coolest exemption they have, like Spieth's only exemption right now is winning the RBC in 22.
there has to be a list of exemptions, like
But
how
I
it
wonder
works.
I wonder too if it's changed, but they don't go back and like help those to have those changes advance. You know,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of weird though. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the categories, and I guess Spieth doesn't qualify for like any of them besides the past winner. So,
Yeah.
life members, PGA Tour members who have won at least 20 co-sponsored events while continually maintaining a competitive scoring average. There's one player.
It's Rory,
It'd
isn't
be
it?
Mr. Singh for that.
Oh, what's Rory at?
I'd assume he's over 20. I mean, maybe.
Because
Oh.
DJ
Well, DJ resigned his card,
forfeited it. Yeah.
but I think Rory probably has it, and
What's Rory
he
exempt
has
through?
other exemptions
Yeah,
that he
that makes sense.
for.
So that's the only one that Mr. Singh qualifies for.
Yes. It's
Okay.
crazy though that Mr. Singh doesn't compete on tour every week then. He's just on the
Rory's
tour.
eligible through
Tour.
29.
Too much work.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. How long is Tom Kim eligible for? 2027?
Hopefully not long.
20, yeah, that's what I was.
Sorry, I'm looking at this 25 priority ranking, and they have Nicholas Player, Trevino, and other Ray Floyd on here for some reason. I think those dudes could play on tour if they wanted to, apparently. But
No.
that's besides
Oh,
the
Jack that would be hilarious.
He's exempt
Nicholas
to play
just
at Augusta.
Nicholas just teeing it up at God, I don't know.
Tom Kim
Ranch?
through Tom Kim through 26
Okay.
per the
Okay.
website, which
Well, Spieth's gonna change his exemption status by the end of this week. Sunday recap pod. Looking forward to it.
yeah, still no tee times, so
Yeah.
that's a bummer.
Well, yeah, I guess if they ever decide to start the tournament.
Yeah,
But-
maybe they're just canceling the damn thing this week. Who knows?
Yeah. That would be, I don't know, just like their coverage in Tempe, on brand for AT&T, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any more thoughts on Pebble. I'm just really excited. Want these tee
No,
times.
I
Thursday, Friday, I can't watch as much anymore because of work, which sucks. But
yeah, I second that. I'll be out of the house on Saturday and Sunday. But I started my Instagram account in 2018, and I don't think I've been this excited for a year in a while, just because he hasn't played consistent golf in like any year, and like a change was made via
The
surgery.
last time I got up and was excited about like George Spieth was like
Yeah. I mean, this was like the first hard reset he's ever done.
yeah.
I think he said in one of his interviews that he did with like local Dallas media, like he's never went this long without touching a club or playing in a professional tournament. So it's a clean slate.
Probably like literally 2 years old.
Yeah.
So pretty insane. I'm gonna have to run, but
Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Happy to be
We're
back with you
back.
fellas. Yeah, I mean, 3 straight weeks coming up and many after that, hopefully.
Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, the Spieth at Torrey is just gonna be something.
I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
I'm kind of it's tough that Riv is not,
He loves Riv.
Yeah, I like Riv. Just it's I think it's slightly overrated, but it's a good test of golf.
Not better than Memorial, is it, Bob?
I like Memorial better. I don't know about the test of golf.
I mean, I think Memorial's tougher, is it not? Has to be. Memorial's been playing brutal as of late.
Well,
yeah, as a late. Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
Not as hard as Ranch in April, though. I promise you. They
They should have given Ranch a chance, and
Well, yeah, it should be. This should be
Texas.
Pebble, Phoenix, Ranch.
Well said.
Because then you go to the Phoenix, then you go to the Florida swing. So it's like on the way there,
Yeah, they're going out of the way.
I don't understand. And the Ranch is, I mean, it's an unbelievable venue for a signature event.
It's almost like it was too easy and like they couldn't even make the choice.
It was like too obvious to pick Ranch.
Yeah.
I don't think they wanted players like struggling twice a year in that way, That's more woke.
Mentally, it's a really tough challenge.
Right. Like you play Ranch twice in one season, you're gonna be burnt out.
Yeah.
That's just the golf course demands is your full attention on every shot.
Yeah.
And then you add the pressure of playing for, signature event at that golf course. And those
R65s are tough.
Par what?
R65s are tough.
Come on. Ranch is a par 70 at heart. And I think once they realize that and they play it in late March, like they did the WGC, that'll be, I mean, one of the premier stops on tour.
Fair.
It's tough to disagree with any of that.
It'll be like the NBA Cup, but just at Ranch. Like that'll be like the mid-season, like I mean, it's a major, right? Like it is what it is. Every event that's played there, there's a high level of intensity.
Time for you to stop.
I mean, it's a great golf course. I'm just really excited for it. And they got screwed again by the schedule.
Yeah. It's true.
Thanks for that rant, Dan.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'm hoping we see you Sunday night because if he shoots like 3 under for
we're not gonna be on here Sunday night. That's hilarious.
But if he plays well, we'll be here Sunday night. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Well, we'll hopefully be back into the 2 podcasts a week swing. So
yes.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. That would be great.
Sayonara. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
Peace.
Take care.